Hi LEGO fans! I'm back with another one of the brand new LEGO Movie 2 sets from Wave 1. This is one of the larger sets currently available, and LEGO have done something really interesting with the packaging. Is this the front of the box? Or is this the front of the box? Okay, technically because of the way the flaps are, this is the front of the box. But I really like the way LEGO have designed this 2-in-1 box. Today, I'm going to be unboxing, speed building, and reviewing set number 70831, Emmet's Dreamhouse / Rescue Rocket from the LEGO Movie 2. This is a 706-piece set featuring Emmet's Dreamhouse. If you've been watching the LEGO Movie 2 trailers, you may have already seen this. The 706-piece part count includes 3 minifigures. We have Emmet, Lucy, and new character Rex. We also have Warrior Kitty and Emmet's friend Planty, who also appears in the Thricycle set. I really like the look of Emmet's Dreamhouse, and it's a very classic LEGO build. It also has a bunch of roofing tiles, which are really nice elements to get. Emmet's Dreamhouse also opens up to reveal the interior, and it looks like we've got some cool interior features to investigate. But as the 2-in-1 logo alludes to, this set is not a one-trick pony. There is a water tower that looks like a suspiciously useful source of spare parts. With those, we can convert Emmet's Dreamhouse into a rescue rocket. It's not clear from the outside of the box, but I'm guessing this is going to be quite the rebuild. We'll be speed building and reviewing both of these models. But before we do that, let's tear this box open and see what we've got inside. So here's everything you get inside the box. We have 7 bags of LEGO with no numbers, 2 instruction booklets, 1 for Emmet's Dreamhouse, and 1 for the rescue rocket. There's also an 8x16 sand base plate, and the inevitable sticker sheet. I'm going to start out by building Emmet's rescue rocket, and today this is going to be a 60-second speed build. And here is the completed rescue rocket, which I must confess took me a lot longer than expected to put together. Build time was just under 1 hour and 45 minutes. I chose to build this model first because, quite honestly, I think there's going to be a place in LEGO City for Emmet's Dreamhouse. The last thing I wanted to do was build that, then build this, and then build it back again. The rescue rocket was surprisingly challenging to put together, but the end result is really solid. After building the rescue rocket, you don't have many pieces left. All the designers have done a really good job of using all of the elements in both constructions. But for all the cool features you get inside the set, the thing I was most excited about was this teal brick separator. We're going to take a look around the rescue rocket, review the Rex and Unikitty figures, and then we're going to build Emmet's Dreamhouse. Like many of the builds you see in the LEGO Movie, the rescue rocket is a very funky creation. But unlike many other builds, this does actually get quite a bit of screen time. It's constructed on a 64 stud sand base plate, which gives it a solid foundation. From the back, we've got some really powerful looking booster rockets made up of parts from a water tower. The central booster's made out of a wheel hub. I've definitely seen these elements used in LEGO ship construction, and we have a couple of buttons tucked away at the back which look like they might do something. I really love the way the flower elements have been used on the end, and of course there'll be a demo coming up very shortly. There are some adjustable fins to help with steering, and we have 2 additional engines sticking out from underneath the roofline. These look really cool, and I love the pipework, which is presumably the fuel lines. The design does allow for a small amount of movement, but I don't think this really adds to the play value. What does add to the play value are these bad boys at the front. Yes, we've got a pair of blaster cannons, and yes, I'm going to demonstrate. Just above those laser cannons is the cockpit for the rescue rocket. This is actually made out of a large bay window from Emmet's house. One of the really nice things about this build is the roof. You don't often get a decent quantity of roof tiles in LEGO sets, and this one has a bunch of those blue ones. We also have this really cool fluted edge at the back. That's a lot harder than you might think to put together. But even with the slightly tricky build, there's no doubt this looks very cool. We also get a chimney on top, which is pretty much the same thing we see on Emmet's dream house. And there's a little modified slope at the back which moves up and down for some reason. So from an exterior perspective, this is a very cool looking build. But that is not all. You can also remove the roof to reveal the interior inside. It did occur to me how convenient it is that both builds use roughly the same amount of pieces, and then I realised that the roof is actually rather heavy. Yes, there are some pieces that weren't needed to build the rescue rocket, so the designers neatly tucked them away inside the roof. And to be honest, they did this in a very creative way. Here you can see the two pillars that stand beside Emmet's door, and even a pair of frogs. The inside of the rescue rocket is a single room affair with many homely comforts. At the front we have a cockpit complete with seats and a radar tracking unit. It looks like Emmet is tracking Sweet Mayhem, which is absolutely screen accurate. This on the other hand seems to be the awesome mixtape from the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, the Milano. A red flower from one of Emmet's window boxes has been repurposed as a button, and there's a really cool 1x1 printed round tile. Over on the far wall we've got a framed picture of Unikitty. There's a little kitchen area complete with skillet and some flowers. And at the back we've got Emmet's front door. This folds down to reveal framed pictures of Emmet and Lucy and their TV, but it doesn't look like anything's on right now. Even though this is clearly a B build, there are some really nice design touches. For example, I really like the roofing tiles used just here underneath the engines, and this elegant canopy over the cockpit. In fact, I'm wondering how much of this design was influenced by the Milano from Guardians of the Galaxy. Here's a really tiny version just for comparison. I couldn't be bothered to get the bigger one out. The orange and blue colour scheme definitely carries through into the rescue rocket. We also have these posable wingtips just like the Milano, but to be fair, the awesome mixtape in the Milano is red and not purple. Inspired by the Milano or not, the rescue rocket is a very cool build. It's just a real shame that we have to completely tear this down to rebuild it as Emmet's dream house. I'm going to do that in just a moment, but before we do, let's take a look at these guys. We've got Rex and Warrior Kitty. This is Emmet's best buddy Rex, and he provides quite a touching storyline within the movie, but I'm not going to give away any spoilers. He's here in this spacesuit, and then he's got this rocket pack on, which is rather temperamental and these things often fall off, but we've got these transparent pieces on the back here which provide propulsion, and then a really cool slope here with the R for Rex. He's also got this helmet on which comes with a visor. You can get this visor on quite easily, but it's really difficult to take off again. That's why I didn't put it on until now. The helmet is very cool. It's one of these kind of off-road motorcycle helmets with some really nice detailing in there, and then the R print on the top for Rex, and then we've got this non-transparent visor. There is a hole in there so you can see Rex's face through it, but obviously not with the visor on. I'm going to take this backpack off because that will save me the inevitable pain of dropping it. Now we have this really cool facial expression for Rex. Looks very kind of confident and happy with himself, and then he's got a load of stubble on the face, and around the back looks very much more disgruntled. We do have this very cool outfit which is we've got dual molded dark blue and light blue legs, and then printing on the front there for the kind of spacesuit that he's wearing. Really nice there with the green print on the front, and then we've got a lot of detailing here, including slightly metallics there for the detailing around his neck. We also have these printed arms which are very cool, and then we've just got one of these fairly standard pieces on the back there to hold on the jetpack, and that is Rex. But hang on, no, there's more. We have the hair as well. He does come with the hair, and really cool radical hairstyle, very similar. Well, not very similar, but there is a similarity to Emmet. You can see here we've got the kind of cowlick at the back there, which looks a little bit like Emmet for some reason. But as I said, no spoilers, and that is Rex. Following up, we have Warrior Kitty, which is the Apocalypse version of Unikitty. She looks very, very serious here, but a really cool Unikitty. I really like this. We've got the 1x3 print here for the face, and then more standard construction this time. We actually had an upside down piece for the Unikitty minifigure series, but we've gone back to plain old Lego pieces for the Lego movie. Really nice 1x3 plate there with metallics on for the kind of armor above the head. I guess that's Unikitty's helmet. And then we've got the red horn on top. We also have a printed tail here with the spikes. That's very, very cool. And just all round a very cool looking Unikitty. And then we've also got these flames on the side here. We've got a printed piece, and everything is threatening to fall apart. It is actually printed on both sides, which is really nice. And then we've got a clip around the back there for this bolt. So what happens in the movie is that Unikitty gets very upset. She grows really big, and then Lucy rides her into battle. We also have an alternative expression. This is Warrior Kitty when she's sleeping, and we are going to see her sleeping inside Emmet's dream house real soon. Right now I'm going to tear this thing apart and put it back together, and this is going to be a 45-second speed build. And here is Emmet's dream house. Disassembly time was about 20 minutes, and then reassembly took an hour and 17 minutes. Obviously what you can see here is a lot of stuff. The main build itself, Emmet's house, is much smaller than the rescue rocket. And honestly, I'm starting to think this isn't the A build, I'm starting to think this is the B build. While the rescue rocket used almost all of the pieces, we do have quite a few elements left over here, and the things that sit outside of Emmet's house really do look like a bunch of junk. So in my opinion, it's almost like the rescue rocket was the main build, and for everything other than Emmet's house, the designers just did whatever they could to use and otherwise hide the spare parts. I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in just a minute. First, let's take a look around Emmet's dream house, then we'll take a look at all of the guff that's sitting outside, and finally we need to grab a look at those Emmet and Lucy minifigures. So this is Emmet's dream house, which is a nice little build, very much in the classic LEGO style, but I've got to confess it's a little bit smaller than I expected, especially with the $70 price tag for the set. Around the front we have a front door and a nice little picket fence. And then around the back we have the large bay window, which you might recognise from the rescue rocket. But the really nice thing about this build is that it opens up to reveal the interior. We'll come back to that in just a moment. On either side of Emmet's front door you may recognise the pillars that were hidden in the roof of the rescue rocket. We also have the picket fence pieces and a decorative window box. The windows, of course, you'll recognise from the rescue rocket, and they do have opening shutters. There are some really nice architectural features, such as the canopy over the window, and the twin pitched roofs, which have a really nice contrast between the yellow bricks and the blue roof tiles. We've got a chimney that extends up the side of the house, and I really like the way the hinge mechanism has been built in. There's another window on the side, this time complete with glazing, and yet another window box complete with flowers. Emmet designed this house to share with Lucy, and it's great to see the love and attention he paid to it. There's a window to the attic room, which we're going to see in just a moment, and then the large bay window that doubles up as a cockpit on the rescue rocket. This is covered by a canopy, which does a neat job of hiding the elements that will be used to make the rescue rocket later. So far so good, but I think it's time we took a peek through the keyhole. At the top of the house is an attic room complete with sleeping Warrior Kitty. Here you can see some pipework which eventually leads to the rescue rocket engines. And there's some familiar artwork on the wall. Downstairs we've got a cute little lounge area just inside the front door. This comes complete with a mint green couch and a simple table lamp. We also have portraits of Emmet and Lucy. And you might recognise one of the red transparent dishes from the booster rockets recommissioned as a light fitting. The other half of the house is a really nice open space. We've got this large room that extends from floor to ceiling. Emmet's sitting in here waiting for Lucy to arrive, and he's got this cool needlework pillow which states E and L forever, presumably meaning Emmet and Lucy. Once again we have a TV showing the test signal. I guess there's no television in Apocalypseburg. We've got a small kitchen area, and there's a plain yellow rug. So while Emmet's house is a really cool and well thought out build, it does lack in a couple of areas. Firstly, the scale is a lot smaller than it is in the movie. And secondly, we're missing the porch on which stands Emmet's double-decker swing chair. You can of course open up the house so it looks a little bit more impressive, but overall I was really hoping for something a little bit bigger at that $70 price point. By now you'll have realised that Emmet's dream house is a little bit smaller than the rescue rocket. And that's because we've got all of this stuff. These are all the other elements that are needed to make the rescue rocket. And there's a few random leftover bits as well. The biggest and most recognisable part of this section of the build is the water tower. This incorporates most of the parts used to make the rescue rocket's engines. And if you look very closely, you'll see it also provides somewhere to hide all of the pieces the designers couldn't think what to do with. What lies beneath the water tower seems to be Emmet's workshop. We've got a lot of random stuff lying around here, but then we have this micro scale prototype of the rescue rocket. That's definitely the coolest bit about this section of the build. Apart from that, it's a fairly random collection of objects. We've got these things hanging off the back of the workbench and they just don't really make sense. Also not making sense is this kind of barricade thingy. It does incorporate Lucy's binoculars, and then we've got one of these flick missiles. Apart from that, it's a really random collection of bricks, and it's going to confuse anybody who buys it second hand. A lot of people buy used Lego and then try and figure out what sets the bricks came from. Good luck with that. Finally, we've got a collection of fairly random items. The most recognisable is this boombox complete with cassette tape and speakers, and that's built onto this spring-loaded mechanism for the flick missiles. We've got whatever the heck this is. A stack of barrels which contains more elements the designers didn't know what to do with. Some kind of laser pointer thing. And it looks like the designers couldn't be bothered to hide these bits, so they just threw them in a bucket. These are the random leftover pieces. But far from being a random piece of leftover Lego, this is Emmet's friend Planty. Of course, we can't wrap up this review without taking a look at the remaining minifigures. We've got Warrior Lucy, Emmet, but first we'll take a look at Sleepy Warrior Kitty. This is pretty much the same Unikitty we saw earlier, except the build has been reconfigured to show her lying down. We've got the legs sticking out at the side here, and then the tail is curled around the front. That's the same tail piece with the flames on the side, and then these really cool spikes. Now the expression has been swapped out to make Unikitty go to sleep, and then we've got of course this helmet here again, and then the horn on top. She looks really cute like this and really themes well into the movie. That's the Sleepy Warrior Unikitty. Emmet is a common minifigure and appears in many different sets. He does have occasionally different expressions, but this expression appears in 3 of the sets that have been released so far, including set number 30340, the Emmet's Peace Offering Polybag. I'm going to be doing a video at some point featuring all of the polybags from the LEGO Movie 2. But back to Emmet, he's wearing this construction worker outfit with the distressed reflective stripes. You can see them there reflecting in the light. Yeah, he's pretty much the same Emmet we've seen in other sets. You've got this kind of, I guess this distressed pattern on the metallic stripes. There's a little bit of wear on the belt here. We've got Emmet's name badge, and then again with the stripes around the back, you can see they're kind of wearing off here, which is the Apocalypseburg style. He's got his standard Emmet hairpiece. Nice smile on the front there, and then this rather angry expression on the back. I like that a lot, that's very cool. And that is our Emmet minifig. And last but not least, we've got Lucy, who seems to have pretty much abandoned the wild style nickname. She looks great here in this classic outfit, which we know from the other movies, and she's got this great headgear. So this is going to be the variant known as Warrior Lucy, where she's in Apocalypseburg and she's watching out for Duplons and other invaders. She's got some very cool headgear here, which is her hair, of course, with the stripes, and then these red goggles. We also have a version of Lucy with the goggles pulled down over a kind of hat, or I guess this could be the scarf pulled up over her head. While we're at this end of the business, let's take a look at that facial expression. Very, very cute. Kind of unusual to see Lucy with a smile there, but looking great. And then around the back, we've got a rather more traditional expression for Lucy, where she's looking mean and aggressive. Let's put that back on. Really cool hairpiece, that. And what else have we got? A little bit of printing on the legs here for the buckles and that sort of thing. And then you can see we've got some patches on the legs here. This is the Apocalypseburg styling that Lucy adopts. Around the back, we've got a quiver with some arrows there, I guess, or some bolts for her crossbow. And then we've got this really nice piece around the neck, which is the scarf. And I think in other parts of the movie, she does actually pull that up over her head. And that is Lucy, a great minifigure, and it's really nice to get her with Emmet's dream house. So that was set number 70831, Emmet's dream house / rescue rocket from the LEGO Movie 2. As much as I like these 2-in-1 and 3-in-1 sets, they take a really long time to film. In hindsight, I wish I'd have built Emmet's dream house first, and then converted it into the rescue rocket for display. Immediately after I finish filming this, I'm going to go and rebuild the house into the rescue rocket. Honestly, in my opinion, I do think that's the better of the two builds, but do feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. I was really hoping the dream house would be bigger and I could find it a home in LEGO City, but I do like to keep my LEGO sets together, and the junk that comes with this doesn't really fit. So I'm going to rebuild it into the rescue rocket, which is a really nice compact build. The minifigure selection was pretty good. Obviously we've seen Emmet a bunch of times and this won't be the last. Warrior Kitty is a really nice version of Unikitty, and I'm really looking forward to building the set that contains Ultra Catty. The Lucy minifigure was very nice, but not exclusive to this set. So I guess that leaves Rex. Rex definitely isn't my favourite character from the movie, and if you've seen the LEGO Movie 2, you'll probably know why. He's a cool little guy with a great expression, and it was kinda nice to get him with this set. Overall, I think I'd rate this set a 4 out of 5. The dream house was really nice but disappointing in scale, and I just can't think what to do with all the guff that comes with it. The rescue rocket, on the other hand, was a really nice and very innovative build. For me, that's the better of the two builds, and that's how I'm going to keep it. But what do you think? Is there no place like home? Or did the rescue rocket rock your world? As always, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. I know you will anyway. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop me a like and be sure to subscribe for more awesome LEGO content. Also be sure to check out my guide to feeling out the minifigures from the LEGO Movie 2 collectible minifigure blind bags. Feeling out a whole set of 20 is really easy. I've got to go, so thanks a million for checking out today's review, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next build video.